Nobody wanted to treat me. Every provider I'd been through was like, oh no, your progesterone, your hormones are great. When I looked at it, I'm like, no. We're off. Something's off. And I treated myself, started myself on MP thyroid, continued my cycling of my progesterone and doing my MP thyroid. And lo and behold, I was pregnant again. 11 years of infertility. And I got pregnant last year.
I think of all the women who, just like you, they're told that they can never have babies and it's over and you're going to have to do IUI or IVF and this whole thing. And my gosh, a little bit of MP thyroid and progesterone.
Yes.
Like, that's what these ladies need. And time again, that's what we see in the clinic. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is the Nico Misleh Podcast, and I'm your host, Nico Misleh. And today I've got a really sweet colleague of mine. Her name is Julie. And it's funny because we were just talking about how this episode is practically speaking been like a year in the making. Julie, I think when I first started my podcast, you're one of the first few people who applied to be on and all that sorts of stuff. So anyways, I'm so thankful to finally have you on, and you've just been so sweet and supportive of everything that we've been doing.
Oh,
so
thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here, and I truly appreciate all that you guys have been doing for this amazing community. So it's a pleasure.
Thanks, Julie. Julie, will you do me a favor and just introduce yourself? Can you give people a little bit of your background and share your story? And, how long have you been a nurse practitioner? Where'd you go to school? All that stuff. Sure. What do you got going on right now in terms of your business?
Absolutely. So, goodness, I started in my nursing career back in 99. I started CNA, LPN, RN, then finally nurse practitioner in 2015. I joined this crazy gentleman I married in the Navy. Not physically, I wasn't in the Navy, but we traveled the country and tried to keep my career on track. But, life gets in the way. You put it on the side burner a little bit. And he retired about 3 years ago from the Navy, 20 years in. And that was kind of my hope, to finally get my career going as a nurse practitioner. And I kind of fell into hormone replacement therapy by just kind of like a mishap. I got hired on by a weight loss clinic of all places to try to, take on hormones for their weight loss patients. Stuff happened, but what, that our contractual didn't, agree on. So we never pulled forward with that. But what came out of it was this amazing training the clinic sent me to was a nurse practitioner that had been doing bioidentical hormones for the past 15, 20 years. He sent me to Colorado to train personally with her. And that kind of just started my passion for all this. And I feel like it's truly a godsend because, I myself had health issues that kind of started after I had my child in 2013 with just these crazy symptoms, migraines, and just nobody in Western medicine being able to kind of pinpoint where and why. Everything kept coming back normal, la-da-da-da. Finally, I got frustrated. And please stop me if I'm going on and on. But
no, this is what I want to hear. I love this stuff.
Absolutely. And so I started to do my own research, started looking to more, hey, I'm a nurse. I'm going to be a nurse practitioner at that time. How can I not help myself here? How is Western medicine and going, to my doctor not helping me figure out how to be better? Essentially, these debilitating migraines sent me to neurology. Came with palpitations and all these just vague symptoms, just not feeling well. I was 30. I'm like, I can't, no, this is not how things should be.
Right.
But I just, started to do my own research, do more, focusing on diet, exercise, more of the holistic acupuncture, meditation, and anything you could think of. I just had to try because nothing on the Western medicine side was working except for giving me more symptoms. You put me on a medication for my migraines, and then all of a sudden I have low blood pressure, numbness, tingling. It was frustrating. So, long story short, the diet, exercise put me on a path of finally feeling better. And I feel like I in the midst of all this, I also went through IVF to have another child. So natural child, IVF
Wow.
child, um, 11 or no, 7 years later. And in that,
Wow.
they're using the synthetic hormones and all of that. But I realized when I was doing the progesterone injections that I felt good. And I'm going, there has to be something to this, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and so when I was pregnant, I was perfectly fine. Finally, the headaches subsided. And so all those years, 12 years, um, things started to piece together until finally I get here 2 years being in Sarasota, Florida, where we retired, going to train with this nurse practitioner telling me about bioidentical hormones, and I'm going, aha, this is the thing I'm missing. Which just fascinated, which brought me to NP, you know, other trainings that
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
hormone replacement focused things and holistic training and those things. Um, and kind of got unfortunately couldn't find anything that I wanted to join, a practice I wanted to join,
Mhm.
people I felt comfortable practicing with, mainly right in our regular insurance driven practices. I didn't never felt comfortable um, doing that. 10 minutes in, 10 minutes
Mhm.
out. And providing that kind of care. So I said, okay, well, I guess the only way we could do this is just try to kind of go on my own. Um, so I started 2 years ago, well, January of 24, starting to just do some research. And that's kind of how I found you. I think you're in the beginnings of starting to do
Yeah.
classes or even one
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
ones and stuff like that. Um, and along the way, I just slowly put together this tiny practice that is kind of just been my little baby on the side, as I'm raising kids as
Mhm.
well. And so that's probably pretty much where I'm at.
I love it.
Along the way, I decided, you know what, this seems like it's going to work for me. Nobody wanted to treat me. Everyone kept telling every provider I'd been through, Western medicine wise, was like, oh no, your progesterone, your hormones are great. And oh, your thyroid's like fine, da da da. When I looked at it, I'm like, no, 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 we're off. Something's off. And I treated
Yeah.
myself. And lo and behold, 11 years of infertility, and I got pregnant last year. after I started, um, after I started myself on thyroid, like
Love it.
almost like it's a month or two after I started. And I'm going, this is crazy, but okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
go with it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that ended in a miscarriage, but then I thought that was like a one off, continued my
Mhm.
cycling of my progesterone and doing my thyroid. And lo and behold, I was pregnant again. And here we are, 34 weeks. And, baby will be here pretty soon, another boy. And,
Amazing. Amazing.
so yeah, gosh, it's just a testament, and that just makes me more passionate about what I do and what we do, and how it's such a missing link in you know
Mhm.
medicine altogether. Um,
Yeah, I think of all the women who, just like you know, otherwise healthy, strong, wonderful women, who just, they're told that they can never have babies and it's over and you're going to have to do IUI or
yes,
IVF and this whole
went through
thing.
all
And,
that.
of course, obviously, outside of it being either extremely expensive or, God forbid, if hopefully your insurance covers it, you're still going through this very, you know, tumultuous, emotional, at least from what I've been
Right?
told,
No, it is definitely.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just, thinking like, my gosh, a little bit of MP thyroid and progesterone.
Yes,
Like that's what these ladies
that's
need.
it.
And time and time again, that's what we see in the
Yeah.
clinic is, these, and again, they're not, some of these women are like 35, 36, and oh my gosh, you're high risk, and all this stuff. And I just think, gosh, it's just such a different lens to look at these patients through when you're in the Western medicine side or conventional medicine side versus maybe on the, I don't know, holistic is one word for it, but more functional side, whatever we'd want to call it. I don't know. Anyways, I couldn't agree more with you. And I'm so happy that I love when amazing people are pregnant and having more kids. Is like one of the most amazing. I just love it. Secretly deep down, it's like so cool. Because it just makes the world better. Absolutely. So, and by the way, for those of you who are listening, Julie's like not just a little bit pregnant. She's like 34 weeks pregnant. So she's doing great. Julie, tell me and the listeners a little bit about your business now. So, I mean, obviously when we had talked, you were kind of maybe a little bit more fresh, so to speak, in one way or another, but are you brick and mortar? Are you telehealth? Like, what do you got going on?
Gosh, I have access to a clinic, which has been a blessing. Going into this, I was just like this on a whim. And, both my husband and I were both starting businesses right off the bat when we both moved here. And for him, he's completely set up. He's taking over business from his dad. For me, I'm starting like from nothing, going like hardcore. And from that, like, financially, because we're just coming into retirement, I've had to just kind of cut corners and figure things out, and kind of figure out how to do it myself. And I've been so blessed to be around people that have been so generous and so kind and so willing to help because they agree and want to help the cause. So early on, I literally had a brick and mortar that I had access to. It was a friend's dermatology clinic that she let me use because she only used it like 2 days out of the week. So I scheduled my appointments when she wasn't there. Unfortunately, we had hurricanes and it took the building down, and now she's I had to move out of that one, but kind of got blessed with another. And a orthopedic kind of stem cell doctor has allowed me to use his clinic when he's not there as well. So I do primarily like to see my patients initially, first appointment, in brick and mortar. And then from there, we go virtual, unless, they want to see me or they need to. Yeah. So it's been such a blessing that that's overhead isn't truly there for me for a brick and mortar, but it's definitely challenging to try to, cut the corners and make ends meet through this whole process. So at the moment, again, I see patients in clinic, first appointment, then go virtual after that. I have a handful of patients that are recurring right now, but again, I have not truly dedicated a lot of time for many reasons. Life kind of gets in the way. My husband's also starting his business, and then kind of we're on the back burner, but this is definitely where I want to be and what I want to do. And with baby coming on the way, I'm okay with things being slow. So, I'm definitely taking things as I can.
Well, I love all this. Yes. I mean, it's super important. Also, like, again, like, I think for a lot of listeners, they're probably in a similar situation as you are, right? Which is like, first of all, I don't need to be making $1 bazillion out of this clinic. Like that's not, maybe not even the goal anyways. Right. I'm busy. I'm a mom too. And I've got 3 kids and all that sort. So this is really, I think, inspiring in a lot of ways, because it just shows that, look, a business doesn't have to be this behemoth thing all the time. Maybe at some point in the world it'll exist that way, but right now for you this works. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. My thing is I want to help people in the way that I wasn't receiving help. That just fills my heart, and and there is that gap there, and I do run into so many people that are like, yes, I need that. I need that. I need that. However, and this is one of my questions, Nico, is that I'm finding a lot of, because we're cash based, because people have insurances, because, they can't afford it. How do we bridge that gap of how can I help people who really need help, but, can't afford to do the cash paying thing, as well as, you know, of course I have to make ends meet and make it worth it for both, you know. I feel like
Right.
my prices aren't like way out there. You know, they cover my basic costs as with the handful of patients that I do have, they're keeping me above board and able to keep going. I honestly, in the almost year and a half, I've not paid myself. This is just kind of like a, hey, get things going. Everything is
Good
still
for
in the
you.
business. You know, it's in my business account. There's a little bit of, you know, profit in there sitting that I still kind of use for other things that as you know, as I see needed. But again, like luckily I'm in a place where I, I would love for it to be lucrative, but at this point I know that's just not where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love all of this. I mean, you're asking a question that I think is the age old question, which is, you know, I like to even make this argument back to people because I know where your head is sitting, because my head and heart sits there too, right? It's like, you know, I want to help as many people, but the cash and the pricing and the insurance and all that. Let me put it to you this way. You could price this at $50 a month. I'm sure your prices aren't that low, correct?
No.
Would you exclude some people at $50 a month?
Absolutely.
Still? 100%, a large amount of people. And in fact, those people might be even less willing to opt in at $50 a month, right? So there's really no, you know, the pricing it's an infinite loop almost, right? There's like the extreme end of super high and the extreme end of super low, and you're always going to exclude somebody. Always. In the insurance game, I have Anthem, but guess what? The provider I want to see doesn't take, you know, am I excluded? 110%. So this idea that we have to be everything for everybody and help as many people as possible, it's not reality. It doesn't exist in the real world. There's no way you could, right? As Julie by yourself, there's no way you could help everybody all the time. And also, of course, make a living and a profit and, you know, carry on your family and legacy and all that sorts of stuff. So it's something we have to learn to, you know, again, we're almost like rationalizing and getting that confirmation bias out of our heads. The same way, remember way back when you were a nurse, you still didn't understand the power of progesterone and thyroid, even though you know about it better than most people did, just a layperson, even as an RN. And it took you years and many appointments and many specialists to get to a point where you said, you know what, forget this. I'm lucky that I could even treat myself. Right. And so most of your patients, and I always mention this because when a lot of people first start out, they assume that amazing patient, you know, the avatar, the client of your dreams, just going to like plop right into your doorstep. And it's never that person. It's always like someone who somehow just like found their way into your lap, almost even by accident. And they're kind of far away from the, you know, ideal dream client, but you're trying to just getting your reps in. And it's going to take you more time to get those reps in because, again, you're busy and that's okay. We know that. But don't feel bad if you're like, oh my gosh, it's been almost a year, 2 years, 3 years, and I'm still not at that client avatar. Yeah, but Julie, you've been, you know, doing this for not that long. You see patients, maybe a few hours a week kind of thing. So it's okay. You're just building reps. And when the time comes when you can apply more volume and actually be present, not that you're not present now, but more present, you're going to be able to get through those kind of growing pains. And so, number one, don't feel bad about that. Number two, recognize that you're probably doing things right. It's just a timing thing. I think, Julie, and another thing to kind of add to that, you have this very unique passion where like you're not even taking a paycheck. You're just happy to do this kind of work. You have this mission that it's beyond you. You know, it's a God-given talent that you have and an ability to help these women niche into that. Like become there's this guy, Daniel Priestley, who's amazing. But he talks a lot about becoming a key person of influence. He calls it KPI, key person of influence. Where, Julie, I want you to consider for a moment that you are the most influential person out there right now in the space of, let's say, let's be really specific here. Women in their 30s who are struggling with fertility and not getting answers from conventional medicine. That is your niche. Like, it's a very, very, very specific niche. So it is HRT. Yes. That's kind of in the background though, right? Your niche is really that very specific population. And Julie, I want you to really, really lean into, how do I, over the next several months, several years, become the person? And it sounds crazy. A lot of people are like, oh, Nico, come on, man. Like, I'm not going to turn into like Mark Zuckerberg tomorrow kind of thing. But that's not what I'm saying. Think about, there are very niche individuals. The orthopedic guy who's doing stem cell stuff. He's probably a big deal in his little circle. Right. And none of us care about this guy. He means nothing to us. But if all of a sudden we're injured, all of a sudden, boom, he drops into our life as this key person of influence. We Google him, and we Google, whatever, stem cells, Florida near me. Boom, his name pops up. I Google a podcast or a YouTube video or whatever, and his name pops up. Maybe he has a Facebook group. So Julie, I want you to consider building yourself as that person.
Okay.
What's a great way to do that? Start a Facebook group. Start a Facebook group that, hey, this is dedicated to women who, like myself, have been told that maybe they can't get pregnant ever again and they have to do IVF and IUI. And there's nothing wrong with those things. But I want to tell you something. There is another way through this potentially that people just aren't talking about. I think that's hormones. And I want to share with you my journey. And I'm going to post, once a week. About my personal story, and maybe share some studies that maybe coincide with that. Or maybe, hey, this was a great YouTube video or a great podcast that I listened to about whatever, endometriosis, if that's what you struggle from, or low progesterone issues, or, ovulation failures. I think those are things that you can do that, again, they're not going to pay off right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if you're looking to make a couple quick $1,000 here and there, that is one of the worst ways to do it. But in the future, in the long term, it is so powerful.
Awesome.
I want you to start dropping into maybe other Facebook groups, local, like, freaking Florida. There's a bazillion people there. You can't tell me you guys don't have in Sarasota a mom's group for your neighborhood, which is probably like the size of Cincinnati, Ohio, where you can become that expert. Like, hey, Sarah down the block, guess what? I dealt with something really similar. Shoot me a DM and let's chat. Let me invite you to my Facebook group. I have this support group where, we just get to talk and share our stories and our wins, and let me help quarterback things for you. Maybe you can come see me at my clinic or see this person. Does all that make sense?
It does. It does. Absolutely. And I've definitely, I just feel this, fire burning under me when I speak to that and that type of person or community. And I definitely know that's kind of where I'm kind of drawn to. So that definitely makes a lot of sense to me. Absolutely.
I think it's such a win-win. Anytime I speak to someone like you, it's so obvious right away. Like, oh wow, she really, really likes this. Like, I joke, like, anytime you're like, God, I would do this for free. I'm like, that's your thing.
Yes.
Don't let go of that. That is your thing. There's something about that. That's your thing. And if you can educate on that and help people around those pain points very specifically to yours, it's just such a gift. Right. So please lean into that over the next few months. Yeah. Like, I would really take that as like, this is really my business. My business is becoming the key person of influence. So anytime someone's looking for this specific thing, even if it's just in Sarasota, Florida, Julie's name is the first name that comes to their mind.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I kind of to tag on and jump on that is, I absolutely, I sit here and I love to watch podcast, the podcasts and everything, social media and on all that. I just have this huge, I'm this such a private person that I have this block. I feel like I should probably go to therapy and talk to somebody about this, but but there is just this wall for me to, and I've even written this like initial, newsletter and sent it to Emily, and she's like, "Oh, this is amazing. You should send it out," and all that, encouragement. And I know I need to do it. I want to do it. There's just this like, want to be private. How do I feel comfortable letting people into such an intimate part of my life? I struggle with that.
Oh, it's such a good question. First of all, I couldn't agree more. I am, rather private in a lot of ways myself. So I can appreciate that completely. And it took me forever too. So I'm not like, I'm preaching to the choir a little bit. I think number one, you have to determine how do you want to show up, Julie. Again, I could say, hey, you should do a Facebook group, or you should do a newsletter. Maybe that's not your thing. I don't know. So how do you want to show up? What is bringing you some meaning and purpose? And also, like, what are you good at? If you're not good at filming yourself and speaking in like 30 seconds about something really important, do not do TikTok or Instagram. Like it's going to go really poorly for you. If you like, I like writing and I like reading and, I love if I can talk to someone, I'd much rather do that. Okay. Lean into maybe podcasts and email. So I think you probably have a sense of that.
Yes.
I think, and this is something that let me share something that I'm very vulnerable and this is very personal to me, but, and this isn't to be like unbelievably like religious zealot about, but like, I think that you are one of those people that it would be a literal damned shame if you didn't show up somehow to the universe and to the world. It would be like God's like, yo, like I gave you all these skills and I gave you this amazing passion for something that is so unique. And like, come on, Julie, freaking show up. People need you. So I like to think of it almost as like, this isn't really about me. I am just this mouthpiece for however you want to call it, God or the universe, to reach out and make people's lives better somehow. And I have nothing to do with that. I just learn this information and I regurgitate it. And I hope I do that really well for these people. That's it. That's all this is. You are just being a friend to someone. I mean, literally, I think, I don't know, when I hop on these podcasts, I'm so excited to see Julie and I'm so interested to hear how she's doing and, how's the baby and how's the family. And so, you create relationships with people versus making it feel like you're this, I don't know, girl in this ivory tower and you speak, these powerful words and you can never mess up ever. And no, people actually don't really even like that. That's why we like watching the Kardashians. We love messy and like kind of wild and crazy and life's not perfect and all that stuff, even though we pretend like it is. So really change the way you frame things like that. And the most important thing you can do is just freaking put that crap out there. And then what'll happen is your mom will respond to your email because she's probably the only person who follows it besides myself and Emily and say, this is so great, Julie. And you say, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. But then 10 people will read it and someone will respond that you don't really know that well and just be like, hey, Julie, like, I just want you to know this was really powerful. And, I went through something similar and it was really meaningful to read someone else's response.
Very true.
Like, oh, wow, that was great. Like, I'm so glad I did that. And now these people were going to literally like, hey, I'm relying on you to share this information like this. I might be hiding something that I feel vulnerable about telling other people. And it's so great to hear Julie talk about it. So I think the more you can lean into that framework of this isn't about me. It's never been about me. This is about everybody else and how can I just show up for these people? People, the amount of people it's funny because I wrote an email and I spelled Louis Vuitton wrong. And I must have had, and of course, like my audience is like 90% female. I must have had what felt like my entire list of emails. Like all these ladies like, hey, Nico, love you. Just want to let you know you spelled this wrong. And I was like, I got it. You're like the 90th person who's told me that. Thank you. But also I thought, well, I love that because number one, they felt totally comfortable saying that.
Right.
Because they didn't have to point that out. They could have just been like, "Oh, Nico, you dumbass," and like moved on with their day. But they actually like what their intention was really like, "Hey, Nico, like we love you, and like we love reading this, and like you misspelled something, and we just wanted to let you know." Like, it's just so it just even those things where you might feel like, oh, like that stings a little bit. It wasn't. And in fact, a lot of people then, say, "Hey, Nico, that was really like, I could tell that wasn't written by ChatGPT because ChatGPT's never spelled Louis Vuitton wrong in its entire life, but you did." So, and I know you're writing this at 5:30 in the morning. Right. So anyways, what I'm really sharing is, don't take away the aspect of you being just a human being too. Like, you've got kids, lean into that. I do too. And it's a freaking fun, messy, crazy, nightmare, joyful ride through the universe with these kids. It's amazing. And I want to be able to share that. And so again, I want you to consider being that key person of influence does not mean you're a infallible celebrity. Right. It means that you are someone that has something really, really important to share. And only you can share it in a way that is going to resonate with other people, that there's no way that I could as Nico Misleh. Only Julie can do it. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Wow. That was very encouraging. Thank you. That's amazing. Just to kind of little switch in your brain to because that's what drives me and like gets me to do the things that are like, a little more painful than normal is to that desire to help other people and changing that perspective of why I'm doing this. And it's not truly for me, but to get myself out there and do that. Yeah. To help other people.
And really send that email that you have. It's ready. Just ready. Send it. Like when we hop off, your goal is you got to send it before dinner time.
Yes,
like,
sir. I'm going to send it.
Okay?
Yes.
Go send
I will.
It.
Thank you.
Of course.
On that. So, I mean, so from there, honestly, I'm just kind of like sitting back and people come to, I have not advertised. I have not put myself out there. They find me on I have a website. I meet people and talk to them about what I do, and they'll refer people. So that's kind of how I've gotten the clients that I do have. And it's been amazing to get to know these, clients a little more because I have less of them in detail, and really gotten to help them through a lot over the past year. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. But yeah, it's just how to and when to, this chapter of my life, especially with a little guy coming, how do I'm going to have to pivot. And this is where the change is from where my questions were, when I first initially signed up to do this one-on-one is I don't want to stop, but I can't. And I really don't want to take away from this chapter of my life, raising new baby and all that comes along with it. Right. And my two other children who are 4 and 12 now. But knowing that I do want to do this later in life, like gung-ho 100% later in life. How do I, what do I do? What should I do?
Well, I love where this question is going. So I personally, I always think of my life in seasons. Some people think of it in chapters. I always think that's really, really helpful. Your goal, Julie, from here forward is to really try to consider that what you're entering into is your winter. Where, hey, I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to be tied up. I'm going to be really, really busy in a different way. And I also want to be really present for that, absolutely. Which you should be. Of course, the business is the business. It's always going to be there. It could go under tomorrow and you could start it back up and it'd be fine. Right. You guys are you also, fortunately, you and your husband have put yourselves in a great place, it sounds like, in terms of the fact that, hey, look, technically we're like retired. Like, he's doing his own thing. Right. It's totally at this point almost for fun, really. He's taking care of us. I get to kind of, put things on the back burner for a second. So enjoy the winter. also, with that being said, you have this amazing opportunity to build during this moment in time where you can just focus on writing. If that's the way you like to show up, Julie, write emails, as often as you can. Write your newsletter, write in a Facebook group, create a Facebook group and do something there. Find ways to educate, like whatever it is, however it is you can show up while you're in your winter season, do that.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking like, my gosh, you've got this like, let's say 6-month runway where you can just like lean into that stuff versus being so caught up in like, okay, brick and mortar, and then do I have this and my license, and does this patient need stuff? And because once you have 200 patients, this stuff becomes more challenging, and now you've got a baby too. And so, I would think of this as it's a total blessing. I mean, it totally is. Like, this is a total blessing. Amazing. Go take your winter, and be prepared, because when spring comes, you want to be able to like jump back into things. And I think if you have some of those things in place where you've got this growing Facebook group now, it's really taking off. And, there are people who are like, hey, we want to come see you. Like, when can we get in? Like, you're going to see that within, I would say, if you do all this within 3 or 4 months, you're going to start seeing some massive influence, because that you will start becoming that key person of influence, even in just that tiny circle of people. You know what I mean? So consider it that way. You're not letting go of the business. You're pivoting. You're taking a different season. And when a summer comes around, it's going to be freaking bananas, because you're going to have really prepared for it.
Absolutely. That's very true. I've been trying to think through that whole process, but you're right. Getting kind of just set up to be in my spring after a winter. That's a great way to think of it. Thank you.
100%.
Wonderful.
100%.
That's wonderful.
Julie, what else?
Goodness. I think other than that, it's just kind of a very big picture. I've been slowly, doing all this kind of setting up of the practice, and have kind of that, slowly in place, but it's huge being everything for a business. I don't know how it's so much. I tell my husband all the time, he's a finance guy, and I'm like, I didn't go to nursing school to be a bookkeeper or a marketing person. So how do you keep it all together and keep track of that, and then see clients? It's just amazing.
It's a beast. It's challenging. I will always say, anything you don't really have to do and you could pay for, don't do it and pay for it. If that means bookkeeping and accounting, hire a bookkeeper and accountant. If that means your husband can do it and he's never gonna bitch or moan about it, then let your husband do it. But make sure that you are not doing it, right? And that you can really focus on building yourself as that key person of influence, number one. So that just is marketing in and of itself, right? And when you build that status, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, if you think about some of the, I'll just use Elon Musk as an example, right? Where everybody knows that name. Everybody knows that name. You might not know that he owns Neuralink, which is this like kind of weird company where he's implanting chips in people's brains and whatever that means. But Elon Musk. And if you went to his account on Instagram or you Googled him, you would probably find some of these other things, right? So that's a person of influence. Elon Musk has millions of followers. Tesla and his other companies, they don't have that many. I mean, they're probably in the million, but like they're not as many as him. And that's kind of the same as your clinic, right? No one's interested in the clinic.
Right.
It's not a story. It's not a narrative. It's just a business. They are interested in Julie. Right. Which is, again, it's a little weird to think about it that way, but they are interested in you. And it's not a vanity thing. It's just that you're a really wonderful person and you deserve to have that recognition. And so again, I would look at it more in those ways. And so, when you're trying to, and again, we're a family friendly show. Julie is literally trying to tell her kids to be quiet. And that's totally okay. They're allowed, like he's trying to get his iPad going. I love it.
It's sorry.
Literally, it's totally fine, Julie. And by the way, my guy, Andrew, can edit all this out, so it's fine. But this is why we have this show. It's fun. Okay. So again, think about the way you're going to start building this business is you selfishly become the key person of influence. That is your marketing. It is anyways. Word of mouth is you're a key person of influence to that person in a very small way. Julie was really nice. She's super friendly. She's very knowledgeable. She helped me a lot. I tell so-and-so, that's a key person of influence thing. We're just going to make that circle much bigger now. Right? Where like your name is popping up more often and we're seeing it in different circles and things like that. And you're creating an ecosystem for that to exist. That's why I like the Facebook groups. It's your ecosystem. It can be your thing. You can invite people. You can kick them out. You can do whatever you want. It's your place to show up how you want to show up. Your email is the same way. You get to show up how you want to show up. So that is now your marketing. And that's what I want you to build over this literal, kind of funny enough, you will be going into winter, we'll have baby and then fall and then winter. Build that and make that your marketing focus, build the email, build all those little things. They're very manageable and they're very doable. Get rid of things that you don't need to be doing. Please get rid of things you don't need to be doing. It's so crazy that we do bookkeeping and accounting. We don't know anything about bookkeeping and accounting.
No,
it's terrible.
Don't. It's horrible.
Please get rid of it. It's pennies on the dollar at the end of the day, truly. And your mistakes and time spent there, it's going to cost you more money at the end of the day. Outside of those little things, make sure, focus on other things like the patient journey, the patient experience. Is this simple? Does this make sense? When they go onto my website, is it confusing? Do I go on Julie's website? I'm like, I have no idea what she's trying to do or what she's trying to say. HRT, what in the world's HRT? Like think through the design and the experience and stuff. Those are all things that, again, they don't cost you any money.
No, they don't.
They take some time, but these are organic things that we can really, really, really focus on. And again, to use like an example, like Steve Jobs was like a psycho about that stuff at Apple. Like that was his whole universe, was like, how do I make this so simple and so clean that when a child picks up an iPhone, it's just like inherent to them that they press this and it does that, and they swipe and it swipes right or left. Like those are things like a lot of us, we probably would have like, I'm going to make a keypad or something. And he got rid of that. So we want to think about the patient journey in the same way. Where is it along this patient journey that it's kind of sucks and it's uncomfortable and the patients, complain about it, or I don't like it. Can I get rid of that? Or can I make this more enjoyable?
That's such a huge point.
We focus a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We focus a lot in our clinic on just hospitality. Right? Like that's a big thing, what we're talking about at the conference soon here. Just how do I make this a really enjoyable experience from the get-go? What can I do to help patients feel more comfortable and confident right away? Can I play nice music? Can I have, hot coffee or tea ready for them? All those sorts of things are helpful.
Sorry, Nico. Well,
they're fine, Joe.
Go tell brother he has to. Tell brother he has to. Please. Thank you. My 12-year-old watching
Seriously,
my 4-year-old.
It's totally fine. We're all good.
So no, those are all amazing points. And I do feel like I may have some sort of when I started early on, I feel like my forms and stuff I sent out to my patients may be a little on the heavier side. And I know I needed to be working on that. So it's definitely something I need to focus on. I've been having great calls, like discovery calls with patients. And then, they're gung-ho and they're like ready to go. And I send the forms out. And, it's the usual, you have to do the HIPAA and all that stuff. But I feel like there's somewhere there that I'm losing, people, because I'm following up with them and then I won't hear back, or I don't know what happens between great conversation with me. They're really gung-ho and they think they're going to do it. Then I lose them. am I missing the sale? What am I doing? Like, you
Are
know?
This is such a good question. Are they scheduling right then and there? Are they saying, hey, come in?
No. Yeah.
That's right there.
Okay.
Okay. So, hey, this is going so great. I'm going to go ahead and get you on the books. What's next week look like for you?
Got it.
Actually, if you have time, I've got time for, like you're getting them scheduled right away. Screw the forms.
Okay.
I don't care. Most of my patients don't, half the time they're not going to fill them out anyways. They're going to do it in the office. So it doesn't matter. Forget the forms. Where you're losing them is you just said it. We had this great conversation. Everything's going great. Okay. Now I'm going to put a barrier in front of it.
Simple.
Forms,
so simple,
like, ugh,
right?
Yeah. I don't want to do that. Yeah, exactly. So take the barrier away.
Okay.
How do I get you in my office? The whole point of the whole conversation is how do I get you in my office as quickly as possible? Yeah. That is your goal. So that's all that I guarantee you that will improve patients, literally showing up like 95%.
That's okay.
Instantly.
We'll give it a go. Yeah. Absolutely. That's huge. Yep. Awesome. It's things like that. So simple, being that I don't have all that experience.
And this is the things I want you to be thinking through during your okay, where is it weird or uncomfortable? Where am I losing people? Is it a sales thing? Is it a marketing thing? Did I say something wrong?
And that's why I thought it was a money thing. It's the insurance thing. It's like all those things kind of pop in my head. Like, is that where I'm losing people? But maybe
you're not. You're really not. Okay. Yeah, I promise you, you're not.
Awesome. I'll definitely put that into play. So
good.
Wow. This is pretty powerful stuff, Nico. I truly appreciate it. And I apologize for this little guy constantly interrupting here.
I love the little guys. I think it's great. And you get to have one more on the way, which is even more exciting.
It is so exciting. Sorry.
Well, Julie, listen, tell me, any other last thoughts, questions?
No, we hit on so much, Nico. I feel like I can kind of take this.
I'm taking a lot of your time.
No, not at all.
You're busy. You're a heck of a lot busier than I am.
No, I don't think so.
yes, you are. I know so. Believe me. Because when my wife says, you got to watch the girls for 2 hours, watch the girls. Like I'm not their dad. And then I go downstairs. I'm like, I feel like I'm not there. It's crazy and it's stressful. I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. How did you do this for 8 hours? So believe me, you're busier than I am.
Appreciate that.
Listen, it's amazing to have you on here. I want you to share this because I've actually had patients reach out to providers this way, which is crazy. Tell me the name of your clinic. Tell me again where it's located and how can people find you, Julie? How would you like people to contact you if they're patients or providers maybe interested in referring patients to you? Awesome. Give me all those details.
Yeah. So my clinic is Northstar Health and Wellness, and we're based out of Sarasota, Florida. Our Northstar HRT is our website, and you can contact me through there. Really easy. I'm pretty responsive, and I'd love to, get to know people around me and hopefully help a lot of patients with their health needs.
Your clinic name is like so perfect. I'm a little jealous. That's pretty cool name. Yeah, very jealous of that. I love it. I absolutely love it. Julie, thank you so much. Seriously, for joining me. Seriously, good luck with labor and delivery and all that fun stuff. I can't wait to see pictures. I'm sure we'll see some pictures at some point. And blessings to you and your husband and everybody you guys have done. You guys are just doing a tremendous job.
Thank you so much. Really I truly appreciate you. And I'm sad we're going to be missing you this year at the, the live event. I can't wait to.
I know. My wife is literally like, just tell her to bring the. If she has it before, bring it. If she doesn't, we'll have it there. And gosh. We'll just deliver it. It'll be fine. And it's hilarious. Yeah. We would all probably love that. You would probably not love that, but we would love that.
Thank you.
Well, listen, Julie, thank you again very much. I think we should do this again. I think we should do this. We'll make this a thing. A year from now, what's Julie up to?
I would love that.
Do you have any more kids?
Yeah. No, gosh. Can you imagine? Opened up a wave by doing hormone replacement therapy.
I love it.
It's amazing.
I love it.
All right, Nico.
All right, Julie.
Thank you
you
so much. Bye-bye.